What's your name?
Jaden.
And what's your question?
How many championships do you win?
How many have I won? I've pretty much won. I've won all of them except for the United States title, and I won the World Heavyweight Championship 3 times. The Intercontinental Championship, the Tag Team Championships. I was tag team champions with Kofi, actually. That was actually a fun time. That was cool. So all of them except for the one that Zack Ryder now has.
Do I smell a match?
Yeah, I would love to. I would collect them all. You know, I got to get that title.
All right, what's your name?
Josh.
And what's your question?
How did you get the name CM Punk?
How old are you, Josh?
7.
You're 7. So probably when I was your age, I somehow picked up the nickname Punk. I don't really know where it came from. I've always just been this little punk rock kid. I was heavily into like the Ramones and the Clash, and and the CM thing. Man, that's just kind of taken on a life of its own. But Punk was my nickname ever since I was probably your age. So when I got into wrestling, I was sitting there trying to think of a cool code name, and all my buddies are like, "Just be Punk, just be you," you know. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense." All right.
Your theme song, Living Color, Cult of Personality, have they, thanked you for using that as a theme song?
They actually have, yeah. And it's funny, but when I was in 1989, when that song was like, I'd imagine it was a #1 hit. I know it was on the charts. That was my little league team's that was our song. Yeah, that was the one. I played on a team called the Indians, and that was the song. So I actually used that song when I was on the Independents, right before I signed here. So yeah, it just made sense for me to start using that again. And yeah, they were ecstatic. They love it.
I think they tweeted about you, actually. Yeah. And that's a whole other thing. I mean, we'll get to more questions in a second, but what do you think about, at WWE, at CM Punk, right, if they want to follow you on Twitter, but if they're not already? What do you think, how do you think that Twitter has changed sports entertainment? For the better, for the worse? What do you think about it? I mean, do you think
I can interact with my fan. Twitter is literally like the world having your phone number, which is, good and bad. And I obviously I can't get to everybody. Some people are obnoxiously rude, but other people are sweet. And, it's cool to just, some people say just, hey, good job, blah, blah, blah. Thanks for showing up. You high-fived my kid, made his night. Stuff like that's cool. I do read all the replies. I just can't get to all of them all the time. So it's cool to be able to interact with the fans. Definitely, change it for the better, in my opinion.
Instant feedback, right?
Well, and I can say, hey, I'm gonna be here tonight, and there might be people who don't know about it. If they don't read the newspaper, but they read Twitter. And they see oh, Punk's going to be signing autographs, or there's a show I didn't know about. It gets the word out.
It's brilliant. Definitely a great tool. Any other questions out there? Oh, wow. Jeez.
Hi. You recently jumped with the Golden Knights. Was that your first jump, or were you nervous? Or?
Yeah, I went skydiving for the first time. And no, I wasn't nervous. It's funny. Back to my ridiculous road schedule. I'm on the road so often, I don't get to do stuff. I don't... I don't get to, I'm not going to say I don't get to enjoy my life, because I enjoy my life very much. But when it comes to stuff like that, something like skydiving, which is something, you want to go skydiving? Yeah, let's go. I would definitely go. And that's actually how it came about. I was in Europe in November on the last tour, and the office called me, and we were on speakerphone. It was me, Miz, I think Alberto and Eve were in the room. And they asked, they said, hey, they want the champ to go skydiving. Are you in? And I said yes before they even finished asking the question. And then they proceeded to try to coax me into doing it. They're like, it'll be okay. It'll be safe. I just said yes. They're like, oh, we didn't think it would be that easy. Okay. And then it was like, how about everybody else? And I turned and I looked at everybody else, and everyone else was just like. And then Eve was like, yes. And then the pressure was on Miz and Berto, and they were just like, Yeah, stuff like that. I legit wasn't nervous at all. I don't know if you saw the videos and stuff like that. Everyone else is
You were so
tentative.
calm. When you got done, you were just talking.
And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Throw me out of a plane. Let's do it. You know, what's the worst thing that can happen? I'm sure I'll be fine. No, I wasn't nervous at all. I'm crazy.
More questions?
What was the most severe injury that you've had to deal with? Obviously, you're hurting today from the TLC match last night, but I mean, obviously, you've wrestled a great deal over the last number of years. What's the greatest injury you've had?
Does anybody know the answer to this? Anybody? No. In 2002, I fractured my skull.
Wow.
Yeah, did you? How'd you do it?
I was actually, you're wrestling. I was doing track. I lost my hearing too.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's great. I got all kinds of battle scores.
Yeah,
I know you did that.
Wrestling, I wasn't doing anything crazy, jumping off a roof. It wasn't a chair shot. It was just like a freak accident, like on a neck breaker. Guy's head hit mine as we hit the mat at the same time, and I fractured my skull. My spinal column filled with blood. It was a real exciting time in my life. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I did that, and here's the wacky one. I did that June 15th, 2002. And then what's the holiday that is it Labor Day or Memorial Day? And I get them. Memorial Day is like the 31st of August, something like that. Yeah,
Labor, I think, right?
That's Labor Day. So I did it June 15th, and then I wrestled Labor Day. And I should not have done that. I would freely admit this. All the moms in the room, I apologize.
Do you have any effects from that injury still?
Well,
again,
they told me not to do anything strenuous for an entire year. That included don't go to the gym, don't try to swim, don't run, don't do anything. It was just let it heal. And I was just like, well, I got to work, Yeah. I had like severe vertigo for a whole year. Yep. Like anytime I would be laying down and looking directly up, everything would just like spin. So that made wrestling really interesting.
We got more?
Yep.
Okay.
Punk, your road to WWE, you had a lot of great feuds on the indie scene with Joe, Steamboat, and Ring of Honor, The Prophecy. You're also part of the Second City Saints. What feud would you like to go back and actually reopen up after WWE, or even if they get signed?
I think people in the office are starting to listen to me, so I would love to fill the roster with talented guys who I know want it and love it, and I wouldn't run away for greener pastures or anything like that. I would love to get Cabana's job back. I would love to see Joe given a shot. Anytime I tag with Cabana, and I don't know if anybody's aware, that my best friend in the business is a guy named Cole Cabana, and we did a great like funny man, straight man thing. Like I was a serious jerk, and he was like this lovable goof off. And I thought it was a great parallel of life, because everybody in life doesn't get along with everybody else that you know. And I played this this jerk, but he was this lovable guy, and it was just like we were friends, and that's life to me, And I loved it. I thought it was great. I wish I could do that on a national stage. It was a lot of fun.
Kind of the same sort of coin. What do you have to say now to all the people who said that you'd never make it, you're too small, you couldn't do it? Now you have you and Daniel Bryan on top of the biggest company in the world.
Oh, I appreciate those people very much. And this is why I'm not a big football guy, but this is why I love the Tebow story. You got a guy who was just saying, give me a shot. And, his boss was like, you're my fourth string quarterback. And then he gets a shot and he wins. And that's the bottom line. And that's all I ever said was, put me on your posters and put me on your programs and your cups and your T-shirts and, give me the wristband. Do everything, put me out there and I'll produce. And if I don't, then just fire me. What do you got to lose? And obviously, I'm doing okay. So, that's always my main motivation, is the pressure, is somebody telling me that you can't do that, or you're not going to be able to do that, or, you're not going to make it, and this and this and that. Encouragement is great. It's great when people support you. To me, the thing that really fuels me, I'm happy where I'm at right now. I'm very proud of everything I accomplished. I still wake up every day fighting mad. Just something to prove, and it's because of those people who tell me that maybe now Zack Ryder can't do it, or Zack Ryder's not big enough, or Daniel Bryan's not talented enough. It's to me, it's all about proving people wrong. Because the message I always stress, I would like to tell kids is, find something you love to do it for a living. Don't let anybody tell you you can't. To me, that's the bottom line.
Do you feel, quickly, on that note, do you feel that, Daniel Bryan winning last night, you retaining last night, Zack Ryder winning the U.S. title last night? Now, we've seen WWE kind of starting to change ever since you did that promo on John Cena, the one that everybody knows here that you guys saw yourselves. Do you feel like last night is kind of like a flashpoint to where things are going to go with all you guys on top?
Well, it's a step in the right direction, and it's not a slight on John Cena. It's almost unfair to John Cena because he's been pretty much doing it by himself for like 5-6 years.
Unbelievable.
It's unfair, and it takes a guy like me, kind of shaking things up and yelling and screaming and saying, there's talented people. You just have to give people chances, and I think Zack Ryder is a perfect example of that. Behind the scenes, I was the biggest supporter of Zack Ryder, and then Cena got on board, and all of a sudden people started listening, and then it was just like, well, you were the first guy, then we're going to start listening to you, and now it's kind of snowballed. That's the funny thing. It's like with the ice cream bars. It's like I mention it and I talk about change and I talk about changing the way the title looks, and people just got to be a little bit patient. These things take time, but they're going down. Trust me. And I think last night is a good indication of that.
Cool.
Would you have any last words for anybody as far as tonight Raw, the Super Show? Why do people need to check it out?
Is anybody going?
Wow, look at that.
Well, I don't really have to
why
say
they need to
anything.
tell
You're
Fred to
gonna be there.
check it
You're gonna
out.
be there, right? Are you gonna be there?
Yeah, I'm going to be there. Look, I never wanted to be anything else but what I am right now. So to be able to sit up here in front of you people, it's really, really cool. It's a humbling experience. I never wanted to be a cop or an astronaut or a teacher or anything like that. I wanted to be a pro wrestler for whatever reason, and nothing else made sense to me but to try to be a pro wrestler. And I was going to be a pro wrestler whether I made it to this level or not. I always believed that I would make it to this level, but my goal was just to wrestle, and I did that. And I think that can go a long way to be inspirational for other people. So obviously I didn't do it by myself. I've had a lot of people support me along the way, and the fact that you people are here listening to me run on and babble, I think is pretty cool. So Philadelphia has always been very, very good to me. So in turn, I will be very, very good to Philadelphia. You go tonight, we'll give you guys an awesome show, and I know I always try to steal the show. I know that's old Ziggles thing right now, is saying he steals the show, but I'm always out to give the people their money's worth. I'd like to think I do that, and hopefully I'll do that for you tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, CM Punk, the WWE Champion. Give it up for CM Punk. Thanks for coming in today, Punk. I appreciate
problem.
it. I don't
Thanks for having me.
hurt your hand.
Yeah. Thank you for not squeezing.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's broken, so it's
Guy wrestling with a broken hand. He doesn't stop.